Plants are kind of a big deal these days. Houseplants had a peak moment during the pandemic when everyone decided they were going to turn their living spaces into urban jungles to reduce quarantine stress and boredom. Perhaps your plants are still thriving to this day, or maybe your once thriving plants are shriveled up somewhere in a corner. Whatever the case, plants were advocated as a tool to help ease stress from life and work. In fact, the roots of this trend stem back to the 1980s, when biologist Edward Wilson published his theory that humans had an innate biological affinity for the natural world. He named his book and coined the term biophilia. Working with this idea, the field of psychology developed two helpful theories: attention restoration theory and stress reduction theory. Attention restoration theory believed that environments could promote a renewed attention by providing individuals with a sense of being away, fascinated, and surrounded by elements that promoted a sense of survival. Essentially, ART acknowledged that when we gave ourselves a direct attention break and shifted into effortless forms of engagement, we could thrive. Stress reduction theory, on the other hand, noted that there were restorative environments that could reduce stress levels and help people recover from mental fatigue. In other words, worry and anxiety could be eased in certain natural environments. Natural and green design take both these theories into account to create environments that offer people some of the benefits they get from being in nature.
Something like this, as that plant grows, helps to create a more positive atmosphere. Emotionally, because of the activity and the progress that you have with the plant. So it supports kind of your mental health from that standpoint. But then also even just from like the aesthetics of the space that you're working in, right? Your office environment. You don't want to start growing a plant and people don't want to see it die. It's just normal, natural human behavior, right? Mm-hmm. And so they want to keep it alive. They want to stay dedicated and committed to keeping this plant alive, because it makes them feel good, right? And they want to, you have this visual representation of progress that moves faster than a lot of progress we see in our day-to-day lives, right?
Researcher Ruth K. Ranas of Norwegian University of Life Sciences agrees with Wilson's findings and claims that her research shows that office plants are a simple and cost-effective way to keep workers satisfied and focused. Her research found that participants at a desk with flowers and plants showed higher focus and task attention than those sitting on an empty desk. Those with a plant and a window showed increased cognitive boosts. Most people spend a large portion of their life in an office space. This means it's the little things that have practical significance when aggregated over employee and time of employment. Other research tells us that when it comes to the number of plants in the office, less might be more. A high density of plants in the office saw a general decrease in office productivity. Even though more research needs to be done on the qualities of optimal plants, the current literature points to small, lightly scented plants as the best for optimal health and well-being.
I always encourage people to do something that is either an herb or a vegetable. Reason being is that you then have a whole nother touch point with that product, right? So if I take, for example, like this grow kit, it has multiple use, going back to functionality and repurposing and recycling, things like that, right? So you're taking a coffee mug that, yeah, sure, you can just use it as a coffee mug, but it also comes with seeds and soil inside it. So you could, plant it and so on. But my point being, so if you do something like zinnias or forget-me-not seeds or something like that in here, it's awesome, right? They're going to grow. You're going to have these beautiful flowers that'll, brighten up your space. But if you do something like basil, right, it's going to, and basil flowers as well, and it smells fantastic. So it's going to have kind of those same effects. But then you're going to get to harvest the food, right? And then you can go, make a meal and share that with your friends and family and so on. My daughter and I, a couple weeks ago, I have a little 3-year-old, and we planted some oregano, and so it was an educational experience for her. 3 weeks later, and I already had to transplant them. Then within 3 weeks, we have this plant that's starting to grow. It smells like oregano. So, again, kind of that progress that you have, and I think that ties into the commitment that you make with the product and with the plant. To see it through.
So maybe trying to revive that dying plant in the corner of your desk might be worth it after all. If it's beyond saving, try a plant like jasmine, mint, or lavender. Business owners and HR managers should consider these benefits next time they purchase gifts for their employees. This is especially important for their new hires. The CRM platform company Salesforce knows the benefits of investing in biophilic design. Earlier this year, they announced their investment in the Trailblazer Ranch working space. After 2 years of remote working due to the pandemic, the Salesforce team recognized that this space was important for their team to come together and connect. Their hybrid work model they offered their employees made it possible for workers to stay home and tend to their families and avoid excessive commutes and contamination. The Trailblazer Ranch, located among breathtaking redwood trees in Scotts Valley, California, looks like a camp for kids. The idea was to create a working space that their employees would want to visit and spend time in. The Trailblazer Ranch uses biophilic design to increase productivity, morale, and connect with their company. You don't have to build a resort to channel the positive effects of biophilic design, though. Providing small desktop plans for your employees and a reasonable amount of plans in the common space can help improve your employees' focus and help them let go of unnecessary stress. At AnyPromo, we know it's critical to tend to employees' needs and keep them satisfied. You can do something small but significant with custom desktop plans. We have an array of desktop plans that are easy to grow and maintain. They can be customized with your business logo as well. Call or message one of our representatives to help bring some fresh life into your office or business workspace.